Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 22 of Oxygen Not Included. So picking up where we left off, we were digging up towards space and down towards oil. But I am going to take a quick moment to, well, more than probably a moment, to try to tidy up the base as much as I can. So VDog mentioned that this polluted water is outgassing polluted oxygen, which is then damaging our hydrogen generator, so let's fix that. Another thing I needed to do is these guys here are about to be stranded, so I'm going to do an emergency level ladder here. Oh, okay, they got down. Because I didn't set up the ladders properly, and as a result, they would have been stranded. But they didn't, just the way they dug. Okay, there we go. So before I go any further, one of the things I wanted to do is just to tidy up the base considerably. It's not exciting, but this serves multiple purposes. Chiefly amongst them, it's going to significantly raise the decor value everywhere in the base, because debris everywhere that I currently have is just making this little base ugly. Quite ugly. And if I can tidy up the debris, it's going to significantly improve the decor value. And also, it will just look nicer, because things will get put away. So, I'm setting it all up as a sweep 8. And then, as I mentioned last episode, the same goes for the bottom of my pit to oil. I want to sweep all this. We also have this salt water that got mopped up. Let me create a bottle emptier to be able to dump it. Ooh, that should not be emergency anymore. Alright, let's also mop at max. Another thing I wanted to do is to dig up the... No, I'm not going to dig up the Weesports. It's getting pretty cold in the Drecklet farm, but the geyser's about to, in 3 cycles, it's about to go. So, they'll just have to hang in there. They might be a little glum from being too cold or something, but, yeah, they'll be fine. They're tough. Okay, let's high priority sweep this up. And that should prevent any damage to the hydrogen generator in the future. And it's only, yeah, it's like a warm room temperature here. People were worried about this, these liquids outgassing, but there's really not much of a threat of that. Okay, putting the mesh tiles back. And that should keep our hydrogen generator nice and protected. Let's continue to do sweep. And then, once we are all swept up, another thing I'm going to do is to add art everywhere. Okay, Magenta Fairy, I do not want you doing any farming. So let's get rid of that. And then another thing I want to do is, let's see, plumbing. Let's extract those pipes as well. I'm gonna just get rid of this farm entirely. It's a nice, this is prime real estate and really doesn't need to be a stupid bristle blossom farm that we haven't used in ages and ages. Alright, so here we are, liquid salt water. So, somewhere to sweep up this salt water. And then, while we're at it, let's continue to make progress up here. I'm going to sweep up this, mine this here to mop up this water here. It'll be a little faster to mop it up than to like try to pump it or anything. Although I am going to want to run a power cable all the way up to space eventually. So, and probably a big one. Probably a heavy watt. Alright, so we got new printables. Brine, saltwater. I'm going to print brine. I have a lot of access to saltwater, so that I am not so worried about. Brine is highly, concentrated salt water. And if you look at the freezing point, and the specific heat capacity, it's lower than salt water. So it makes a good heat conductor. Not the best. I mean, really, really, really late game, you get access to, like, metamaterials that are superior in almost every way. But we're not quite there yet. So Travorza did level up, and I'm going to give him ranching, and then I'm going to start working towards exosuit wearing, so he's not so slow. There could be a good argument to give him exosuit wearing first, but I really just wanted to help out Copious Free Time for ranching, because he's our solo rancher, and he's, holding down the fort by himself. Kind of a lot to ask. Okay, our ranches are at max capacity, at least the ones up there. But our stone hatches are not even close. So I'm making sure the eggs that are in the correct spots should not be swept. So I know this is a lot of sweeping that we have queued up. Tons and tons of it. But it's for a good cause in the long run. Now I think I'm going to purposely make a little bit of a spill here. Just so that we can basically get rid of the farm that we had. Alright. Should be like 2 days. Yep, literally exactly 2 days till that hydrogen event starts to go. And then another thing I mentioned is wanting to make use of the natural gas, right? That's another one. So we're not going to be able to make use of the natural gas until we have something that can airlock the natural gas in, like a water lock. The issue here, of course, is it's negative 35 Fahrenheit Celsius here. So almost all liquids would freeze, which is why I'm waiting to get to oil. So I don't want to freeze my water lock. That would not be good. And we're waiting on oil for them to sweep up. Really? You grabbed 10 igneous? To sweep up the remainder of what's down there. I'm also going to continue doing some research. Mostly just to use up water. As strange as that sounds. I have a bunch of unrefrigerated foods. Looks like our hydrogen production is doing pretty well. And now that we have that polluted water out, it won't be damaging the hydrogen generator anymore. It also seems to me, at this point, that the down dig is done. I'm going to grab some of the water weed here. But at this point, we are good to continue the ladder down. There it is. And we're going to want to offshoot towards this security door as well. Speaking of security doors, how did we do? Oh yeah, we got all the way over here. So let's submit bowel scan and see what's in there. And then let's high priority sweep up everything that's here right now. And then mop this up. Because it's in our way. So I did mention I wanted to run a heavy watt wire. So we do have a heavy watt wire right here. And I'm just going to break down this water filter, which was pulling the salt water out. And run this heavy watt cable all the way up. Additionally, yeah, let's do a sweeping here. Alright, that looks good. These hydroponic farms do have water in them. Okay. So now we have them queued to empty. And this heavy watt wire is going to run like this. It also means that this regular wire that was running up can get broken down for materials. And here's one of the advantages. Everything that we break down just lands right here, which is very convenient. So it also means that these deodorizers, which were really never going to be permanent installations, are going to be, removed. Okay, looking good. No one's submitted into that door yet, huh? Okay. Okay, we'll filter some water. Get a whole lot of the unrefrigerated food warnings. Kind of getting annoying. And we are over critters now. Let me see if there's any older... Yeah, this is an older Dreco that can be culled from the herd, so to speak. And these guys are 8, so no culling needed there. So I have a lot of sweeping tasks, but once it's swept, we'll be good. You know, we won't require any more, which will be quite nice. Not in the base, at least. We did a lot of base renovations. Alright, is the security door up top accessible? Nope, still not. Oh. No, I think we can reach this, right? Yeah, we could reach this. They're just choosing not to. So this heavy watt wire that I'm making here is going to be used to power up like an observatory and other stuff that you'll eventually need up in the up in the it will make more sense when we get there. I know that's not maybe exactly the answer you wanted, but yeah, it will make more sense. Okay, it also looks like we need some more gold for our cabling. So I'm just going to queue up the sort of convenient gold that is around. Okay, continuing to research. The research, I think this is literally the last piece of research I can do at the moment, because as you can see here, Interstellar research requires a virtual planetarium, so all of the research past this introductory rocketry point requires, you know, I won't be able to finish, in other words. All right. Taking a look at priorities. Yeah. I've given the dupes a lot to do, so I'm just going to be patient and wait for them to tidy up. So down here we have another security door. Let's go ahead and create a ladder bridge over to it. It does look like behind the door it's flooded, and then of course it's flooded outside the door, so a little gross. And it also looks like there's some sort of other building over here. So, stuff to look around. Interestingly enough, it looks like there was a, because of the location of this ruin, normally abyssalite helps to enclose cold biomes. So if you take a look at the normal cold, well, here's another case where it didn't happen. Normally, as you can see, you have abyssalite fully surrounding a cold biome, which keeps the cold in, or rather keeps the heat out, because abyssalite is a very, very good, if you take a look at its properties here, its thermal conductivity is basically zero, which which really helps to prevent, you know, the transference of heat. Ooh, spicy tofu. Not that we needed more food. But when you have, so here's a case where another cold biome is fully enclosed, which means it doesn't melt very quick. But in this instance, this ruin here, normally there'd be abyssalite that would run around here, but the ruin stopped the abyssalite. And as a result, this biome has just been melting. Like, continually melting. It's been a while since I took a look at the germ map. I don't think there'd be a case where germs would get in, but it's worth checking. This geyser is now erupting. So we're producing free hydrogen again. As you can see, actually, the gas bump's been going up. We are back over our critter max here. So let me first check for any older Drecos that could be, you know, taken out to pasture. There aren't any, so let me crack some eggs. And then these guys are fine. I know I have a lot of work for just 8. They're being pretty overtaxed. So here we go. This is the oil biome. This is what we've been working towards. Let me dig down. Actually, yeah, we could go straight to the diamond. So diamond is a useful material to have access to. Actually, I'm only going to dig this far, and then I'm going to sweep it up. Whoa there! Oh, I hope there's enough capacity in this so that it doesn't overflow. Alright, and then submitting bioscans for that door. Now, it's not ideal that we have to switch sides for ladders. I kind of wish that this construction wasn't here, but there's no way to destroy it, so we're just stuck with it. Alright, so that is just about the last of the research I can do. I can queue up the other research, but I'll never be able to finish it without some additional resources. And we'll continue the fire pole. I do have to keep an eye on my food. A significant portion of my food, like the muckroot, we don't have set up as edible. And we're mostly just eating fried mushroom. And, of course, I've, you know, basically turned off my fried mushroom farm. So... you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to have the bristle blossoms. Oh, no, now that we're re-enabling it, I think we'll be able to remove the water. I was going to say I'll just have my bristle blossoms use the remainder of the water. But we'll mark it for emptying so that we can break it down. Colony achievement earned. Probably oil biome, I'd imagine. Yep, slick. Enter the oil biome for the first time. So, we're not in it, really, but we're close enough that it counts. So here's the oil biome. It's hot. Most of the oil is very high pressured. One of the dangers here is you really don't want foreign substances coming into the oil biome, because you can accidentally do things that you don't want to do, is I think the best way to put it. Certain materials, when superheated, become difficult to manage, like sour gas. I don't want to be making sour gas, unless for some reason I would want it, but I don't. Not at this moment, and probably not in any moments to come. So if you take a look at, you know, at all sorts of different gases, like chlorine, for instance. Chlorine is one of those gases where, like, when super cooled, it turns into chlorine liquid. I think I had some dripping around here somewhere. No, it was up here. Maybe it evaporated. Okay, multiplexing is now done, so we don't have any research focus. So I can start the research for solid fuel, but I won't be able to finish it. Yeah, we can start it, because I'm just trying to make room for more water. But it's going to warn me that I don't have a virtual planetarium. Noted. Alright, taking a look at the temperatures here. It's warming back up, but not quite as fast as I'd want, so I'm going to get rid of some of these wheezeworts. I'm actually going to get rid of all the wheezeworts. And try to warm up the... It's funny to think, but try to warm up the... the area. So the virtual planetarium uses data from telescopes and research modules to create interstellar research. So for that, I'm going to need a telescope, and you can only build telescopes with a clear line to outer space. And to be blunt, that's a level of complexity that we're just not at yet. I need a little bit more time to be able to get to that. We're getting close though. So one of the ways I can help speed up the process is start to get rid of this polluted water. So I'll create a ladder there so that I can be able to funnel the polluted water. But we also haven't really done a lot of the base sweeping. So as uninteresting as it might be, I would like my guys to base sweep. Alright, so we are emptying out the water out of the pipes that fed the farm that was once here, so that we can destroy the farm without it flooding everything. And then, before I get further into... Yeah, we're going to want a buddy bud down here. Before I get further into the oil biome, I would like to clean it up, sweep it up, so that we don't have things to sweep up in the future. All right, flower pot. So there's another neural facilitator over here, which is going to be, we'll dig towards, and then we can rummage these lockers, and the computer desk is nothing of interest. So, who do we put in here? That's a very good question. So, sine curve already has gone through one, I believe. Because he got deep diver lungs. And then Dennis Keith went through, I believe. Because he got... Did he? I don't remember who went through. Let's see. I'm going to put in copious... or one who is many. And we'll improve one who is many. Now, it might be too hot. No, it's actually not too hot because of the cold biome for the buddy bud. Alright, so he's a beefsteak. He got a huge boost of strength. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to set this as an emergency because I'm tired of them just not doing it. Maybe a slightly inappropriate use of emergency, but, you know, whatever. My rules, my way. Also seems like we have a heavy watt wire. Oh, yeah, we do. We have a heavy watt wire running most of the way up to space, which is great. So that was potentially an expensive project. I think we can't reach this or something. Trying to figure out why. Alright, I'll set it to 9. Okay, new printables. Oh, I care so very little about what we print. What is this line? This line feeds nowhere. There we go. So we'll get this water pumped out. This was just a vending machine and a bowl of fruit. There's nothing... Oh, but there's a facilitator over here. Alright. I am going to ladder up to it. And get the Weasel while we're up there. Now, one of the things you'll notice is... now that I have cracked into the vacuum of space, the gases that are up here are going to start venting out because everything here can vent straight up to space. So if I wanted to keep the gases in, let's say I do, I will need to create a bit of a ceiling here so that we don't vent everything out. Now, some of this is nasty, right? I mean, to be honest, a lot of it is polluted oxygen and the like, so maybe it's not the worst thing if we just vent it all out, but I have been trying to pressurize the outside here, as you can see, with these high-pressure gas vents. So we are pushing fresh oxygen into this space here. So it does serve me well if I help to keep the oxygen in. And we'll get up to that other facilitator. And then another thing I want to do is just to straight up explore. I know how simple that sounds, but it's another big goal, is just to try to find all the things that I might have overlooked. You know, to find some additional geysers that I might not know about yet, or facilities, because there's definitely a facility here as well. So we are able to walk to this point. So that should get us to this facility. This is some real nasty environment, if I do say so myself. I'll do my best to, like, lazily clean this up. Why is the body temperature? It's, honestly, it's too cold. Well, it's getting better. So Diamond over here has a high overheat temperature, really, really nice decor, and it's very thermally conductive. So it makes for good base plates. So if I was to utilize the anti-entropy thermonullifier, and I wanted to spread the cold around, you could use the temp shift plates. Temp shift plates here creates a buffer of heat dispersal, and you could temp shift. I don't have diamond yet, but temp shift plates made of diamond are pretty highly thermally conductive to help spread the cold around. Okay, so we're getting that liquid pipe all set up. Let's go ahead and kill off these critters. And this is unassigned. Copious free time. You're going to take this one. Computer desk. Nothing of interest. There is a lot of Wheezeworts on this map seed. No doubt. Oh, and here we go. This is like an ancient massive facility. All right, complete the process, and you got beefsteak as well. So our starting characters are a bunch of beefsteaks. So I will aim to get to this point here and open these lobby doors, as that's pretty interesting. So these should not have water. Oh no, they do still have water in them. Fine. I will use up the water the easy way. Furniture, ceiling light. Let's plug this back in and have the plants use the remainder of the water that's in the farm tiles, because I don't really need to reclaim the water. Do it that way. 5 critters, 5 critters. It's well and good. What about down here? 9 and 9. Let's go crack some eggs. That should do. Our hydrogen storage is filling quite nicely up, as I'm sure you could see. But of course, the 8 tanks that I have here are not going to be enough to cover the period of dormancy. Not even close. Adding a whole lot of tanks, like a crazy amount of storage, that's one way to make sure that when you go dormant, you can still use hydrogen. Or, you know, if you're lucky, find some additional hydrogen geysers. But I wouldn't count on that, because that's not a very reliable way to get your hydrogen. So we're almost all cleaned up down here. It's about boiling here. That's how hot it is. So if, let's say, we dripped water down there, the water would turn to steam. Low temperature steam, but steam nonetheless. All right, I also want to... deodorize around here. It's a little nasty, so I'll do what I can. And there's like layers of chlorine, carbon dioxide. As you can see, there's... here, let's go to gas. There's all this carbon dioxide down here, and then there's a layer of chlorine, and then polluted oxygen, and then finally oxygen. But I would very much like it to be all pure oxygen. It's not necessary, but just a preference. So this is the old, like, space lobby that every random seed for Terra, it's all going to have this out here. It's sort of like a remnant space relic. I forget if there's like a lore reason for it to exist. So we're just about cleaned up down here. Oh, here is an oil reservoir. Oil reservoirs are sort of like geysers for oil, but differ in the fact that it requires pressured input. And we seem to be cleaned up here. So then, the next thing I gotta figure out is exactly where do I want to tap into oil. I'm gonna continue my ladder down, like this, and I'm gonna tap this well, I think. Now, when I break into here, this is pretty pressurized oil. It's going to start to fill up this chamber pretty quickly. But it shouldn't go any, it's not going to go, like, higher than here. That's the important bit. Is that you have you have somewhere for it to go. I'm going to reject all. I don't even want the muck root. No thanks. Alright, missing research station. So we did all the research for fuel that we can. Let's go solid cargo, same deal. And this water has been ready to dump for a long time, so let's dump that. Now we're getting pretty close to the point where most of the high priority tasks outside of the base are going to be done. So next up will be making sure that our base gets swept up and looks nice. I know I haven't made any progress towards the natural gas capture, but now that the hydrogen vent is active again, it's not as urgent or important as, you know, it once was. Next time there's a dupe down here, I'm going to try to catch them. So lead is a very soft material with a low overheat temperature, but it can be it's pretty abundant in the oil biome, and it can be used for you know, electrical and stuff like that just doesn't need to necessarily be temperature sensitive. Or temperature resilient, I should say. Alright, so almost all of our gas reservoirs are filled up. And then, of course, the remaining plastic that I have, we have to figure out exactly what we want to do with this plastic. Continuing plastic ladders, or maybe having plastic tiles for running here. Because I could replace my floors with plastic just to increase the speed of particularly high traffic areas. Of course, there's some areas where replacing the plastic floors can be a little tricky because of the, you know, gas mix and whatnot. Well, this is looking good. Digging that pit all the way down. I know I'm going off in a lot of different directions. Oh, one of the things I wanted to do, Angelia, could I get you to move here? I'm curious how far I can go to reveal this. Oh, there it is. And here's another facilitator. Awesome. I am getting pretty good at finding those. And every time I hit one of these and get like beefsteak or whatever other traits, that's some pretty huge benefit. So this is a bunch of warm sweaters and cool vests. So nothing that I'm probably ever going to wear, but I'll sweep it up anyway. And then we'll dig this tunnel up to this one. Well, despite the fact that I started this episode by trying to sweep up considerable swaths of our base, I would have to say that the base is no closer to being swept than ever before. So these farms now have like milligrams of stuff of water, so I can break this down without much issue. So I'm going to dig up the plants first. Because I could turn this into a larger dining room. Because this dining room is just pretty limited. I don't have any more space for additional duplicants. And then I need to start working on morale. Because I don't have... My stress is pretty reasonable. My stress levels don't concern me yet. But if ignored, it would become a problem. Is the key. If ignored. I don't intend to ignore their stress levels. I do also have a ton of wheeze warts that I obviously have not put to use. They're all... I have so many wheeze seeds. Let's see, the temperature of the hydrogen area still hasn't really recovered all that much. So I'll leave those seeds out. But let's see how many Weezewort seeds I do have free. 8. Soon to be like 10 or so. That's kind of a lot. It is indeed kind of a lot. So we're pretty close to uncovering this area as well, which should be fun. But I am just about out of time. So next episode, what I think we're going to do is probably start pumping oil, and that's going to allow us to create an airlock for our natural gas geyser, and then additionally set up, it's a lot of work, but maybe start to work on setting up observation for space, and possibly a transfer tube system, although I need a lot of plastic for that. So if you have any feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Adios, everybody.